So today I want to talk about a VR workshop, which we did in the context of a Grand Challenge. What actually Grand Challenge is something I will introduce to you in a few minutes. So first a short introduction. So that's where I'm working at. So that's the Royal College of Art. It's an exciting place to work at. So we have really amazing, good students. And the interesting thing, it's a postgraduate college. So we only have master students and PhD students. So, and what is also really amazing is, so on the left side you see the Darwin building. Around this area I've been working before. And now we just moved into the Battersea building in September last year. And that's really amazing because we have a really huge studio for our students to work at, which tells you probably already one of the secrets of our program. So it's very much in-person driven, and it's a program which is operating in the studio. So it's not something which is so much happening in the virtual world. So, but today what I want to talk about is the NEMO project. So the NEMO project is something which is running now for something like 2 years. So it's a research project, new economic model for the oceans. And what you see here on the bottom is basically, probably a couple of you know this already, there's the so-called SDGs, so Sustainable Development Goals. And these are some of these SDG goals which are tackled in the context of the NEMO project. So, and the NEMO project provided the frame for something which is called Grand Challenge. I will say a few more words about this later on. So, and so what you actually see here is one of our sponsors, Extreme-E. I don't know if you're aware of this. So this is, let's say, a tested alternative version to Formula One, so operating on electrical cars, and they were one of the main sponsors during this time. And this is the exciting vessel which they are using in the context of Extreme-E. So they basically have different locations in the world where they have their races with these electric cars, and they use this vessel here to actually ship the different cars around. So, and what we did in the context of this project is that we installed here 2 cameras. Sadly, I was not involved in the beginning, so it's not stereo, although it could have been stereo, but so I was not involved in the beginning of the project. So these are basically 2 different cameras. One was wide angle, one was zoomed in. So, and they were installed on both sides of the ship and were used to record video over all the time. So we have a lot of video material because we are short on time. I will not go so much into the details, but as you can see, so the whole journey basically of these video cameras was about 6,000 nautical miles, so a lot. And we have a lot of multiple terabytes, around 80 terabytes of video data, and we already started to analyze that. And this is just one example. So that was directly after the Hurricane Larry was happening. So, and we have a lot of this 4K footage from the journey of the St. Helena ship. What we also do, so I'm working here on a cesium visualization, basically to map out the journey of the ship. So, and that was basically, here you see from Greenland to Sardinia, the route which was taken by the ship. So that was basically the frame of the project. And now a few words about the Grand Challenge. So the basic idea of the Grand Challenge 2021 and 2022 was to develop solutions, design propositions in the context of ocean. We had these 5 different themes: through the ocean, for the ocean, into the ocean, informed by the ocean, which is a lot about data for the ocean, and out of the ocean. And the idea was to come up with different solutions in the context of this. The students who were involved in this were all across the School of Design, which means this were, so we had 70 teams. Each of the 70 teams had 5 members. And you can see here, so from your position, from the right side, the School of Design program. So it's very interdisciplinary because textiles was involved, design products, service design is actually missing here on the slide. Sorry for that. Service design is also a very large course at the School of Design. Innovation design is our program, which is involved in this. So it's very interdisciplinary, and these people were in mixed groups working together and tackling these problems here. In the context of the ocean. So, and the main sponsor was Logitech, and then we had support from Extreme-E, which I mentioned already, and Sustainable Ventures. So, and in the context of this grand challenge, it was of course not possible to have around 400 students working with VR devices. So what we did, we had a selection process, and we used this to identify 10 groups of 5 people. So we had probably 100% more applications for this workshop, so we had to filter. And what we basically tried to compose groups. The interesting thing is we have a lot of people then who have strong design background but no idea in coding. So we try to have always at least one person who has already at least a little bit experience in coding in a group. And then the others often were very interdisciplinary backgrounds. And yeah, again, I mean, you saw the programs. So, and we use the Oculus Quest. I think nearly everybody here in the room also used the Oculus Quest already in this context. And the other good thing is actually we had a kind of failed experiments in the Grand Challenge the year before. So we tried the same thing in a virtual setup when we still were trapped at home. And that did not really work well. And the main problem was also we did not have dedicated VR groups. So this means we had 1 or 2 people distributed about different groups who were not really were not really up to using VR. So and that was then of course a big problem in terms of that you had groups which were not really using on VR related projects. So and this year we changed this. So the lecture setup was here. So we had 3 virtual reality lectures in this context, 1 visual analytics lecture, and then we had 3 Unreal workshops. And that worked really good out in the end. So we distributed it actually about the different groups. So we had always 2 repetitions of each of these Unreal VR workshops. And although there was, most of them did not have strong background in using Unreal, we had quite good outcomes from the workshop. So involved were 2 technical staff. I have the names at the end. And we were 2 tutors who were actually supporting this. So, and now I want to show a few videos of that. So just to give you an idea how this is working. I can actually use this here. So that was one of the projects. This is actually the one I will showcase in the demo session. And as you can see, so the exciting thing is that nearly all the students who were in this group never used Unreal before. And the whole time frame is 4 weeks. So it's a very short design sprint in a way, 4 weeks, but full time. And in this short amount of time, basically, they were able to set up this VR environments. So, and the next thing I want to show you is the start.
The world's oceans are under threat from the billions of pounds of trash and pollutants that enter our ocean every year to the harrowing loss of the ocean's coral over the last 40 years. Across these challenges, one thing is clear. The actions of humans on land are having an immeasurable impact on our oceans, which in turn harm communities back on land. Most people are unaware of the consequences their actions have. We have become disconnected from an ecosystem that supports us. We asked, how might we engage people with these issues? How might we raise people's feelings of responsibility for protecting the ocean? Could we provide them with the tools and resources they need to create change? Ocean Investigator is a gamified virtual reality experience aimed at teenagers and young adults. The game is both fun and educational. It is designed to inspire the next generation of scientists, researchers and activists to feel a sense of responsibility and awe for the natural environment, while arming them with the problem-solving skills they need to enact real change. Let's start.
So I stop it here in terms of time, but this is actually the version which I will showcase at the demo session. And the nice thing is that all those projects which I show you here from this 10 project were quite successful in a way, because the previous project was basically the base for one project which was used to win the Pokemon Scholarship, which is quite a prestigious prize. So Steph Jump won this one. This one here was in the runners-up, so this was in the top 12. So if you have 70 groups, it means already, of course, something. So if you're in the top 12, so that was one of those projects, basically, which was quite close and gets a final prize. So, and again, you see that they have these ocean-related topics, and actually you can also see that using the Unreal Engine, you can quite easily achieve really amazing results by using the VR setups here. So, and last but not least, so that's the last project I want to show you. This is called Decibel, and this is actually one of the winning projects of the Grand Challenge 2022. So these are the top 3 teams. So, and this, if we have enough time, I'll just show you this video, probably full time.
Decibel, a nature-based solution combating sound pollution in the ocean.
We like to picture the ocean as calm and silent, but in fact it isn't. Instead, imagine being on a construction site without earplugs. That's how underwater noise pollution levels are measured by the researchers.
Over the last 60 years, man-made ocean noise has been gradually altering life in the ocean. Natural sounds are being overwhelmed by ships and boats, construction, offshore wind turbines, commercial shipping, sonar, military exercises, and seismic exploration for oil and gas reserves.
Noise pollution impacts a wide range of marine species. Ocean noise dramatically changes an animal's behavior. It causes stress, drives the animal out of its habitat. It reduces an animal's ability to communicate, navigate, locate prey.
Noise pollution affects everyone, which means driving away will affect the livelihoods of fishermen and everyone downstream of the supply chain who rely on that.
As part of understanding how to find a solution for the invisible pollutant, we explored existing solutions in the ocean, but also on land, which enabled us to create a strong platform to start the ideation process. Decibel is a nature-based solution combating sound pollution in the ocean. Kelp is grown in hexagonal modular sea stone oyster pods that act as natural sound barriers between shipping highways and the living ecosystem. We use kelp as our living absorption material, as not only will it be used to absorb sound, but it is also a carbon storage and restores biodiversity through de-acidifying the water around where it is grown. The modular structures are constructed by sea stone, which is made of oyster shells. These materials create a system of regenerative marine ecosystems alongside the kelp. Noise pollution is hard to visualize as sound is invisible. To help decision makers emphasize and comprehend the magnitude of these issues, we turn to virtual reality to show how Decibel can make a difference in restoring sound balance. Through our virtual reality scene, we show noise emitting from a boat as black polluting bubbles and affecting the surrounding ecosystem and environment. In the next scene, set a few years in the future, the installation of our underwater kelp sound barriers insulates that noise for the habitats. The final scene shows the marine habitats are thriving with the reduction of affected noise.
This is only the first step. In an ideal world, this would be one subset of a system solution that involves reshaping international laws and regulations to minimize shipping, noise, and impacts. Together, we can restore the health of the global ocean soundscape for marine life and people who depend on it.
It's time to turn the volume down.
Okay, so keep in mind, so this is a student project which was running over 4 weeks. So that's basically the outcome of that. And also keep in mind that most of the students never used Unreal before. So I think that's a really nice result. So which brings me to the summary. So we had in the end 10 functional prototypes using the Unreal Engine. As I mentioned before, so we had one overall winning team in the Grand Challenge. One was part of the runners-up. One was basically the base for another quite important outcome. And also in terms of evaluation, we got really good evaluation results. And currently the Nemo 2 project is running, but we have at the moment no VR component to this year. So this should just show you in overall that is basically the replies which we got from the students. So as you can see that we had a lot of students who are super happy with the project. Of course, like always, you have very few who are for some reason not completely happy. But as you can see here, for example, so in overall they were really happy with the VR workshop as a whole. So they liked really to work with the Oculus Quest in this context. And overall, I think it was a really good learning experience. And also today, students still basically approach me and some of them are still using the Oculus Quest in context of their projects. Yes, this is the team behind it. So on the right side, you see that. From your right side, you see the overall team of the NEMO project. Which is led by Professor Paul Anderson. So that's a long-term project which will certainly run for another 4 or 5 years, probably longer. And on the left side, you see the people who were involved in the VR project. So that's it from my side. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take those. Thanks a lot for your attention.